Alright, I want to do a little add my 2 cents. I've been looking at some videos on the computer. I'm really about air conditioning and things, and I came across this product they talked about, Easy Seal and Easy Dry. Now, I learned a couple things which might be missing in some of the that's been missing in some of the videos. First of all, these products, the Easy Dry and Easy Seal aerosol cans, have really been updated now. There's a new product. It's called Easy Seal Direct Inject. Okay. Now this hose here, this is the connection hose, which connects to the cans, and then that would be connected to the system. The new one, the Easy Seal Direct Inject, the fluid or the sealant is inside the hose itself, and there's no connector for a can. There's a connector for refrigerant, and what you do is the service tech, your air conditioning contractor would connect the refrigerant to the hose, and the refrigerant would push the sealant through the hose into the system. There's no need to pump down the system for 410A systems. On the other hand, this earlier product, these cans did not have enough pressure to push into a 410A system. It was enough for an R22 system, but not a 410A system. So what you had to do is the qualified technician would have to pump down the system to about 50 psi. It says it right on the can. And then you could hook up the can to this hose, and it would pump itself into the lines, and then you disconnect it and open up the system, and that's how you would do it. Now I just want to make another couple points that seem to be mistaken when I've seen the videos. First of all, this hose, it looks like if you just connected this hose to the system without a can on it, your refrigerant would flow right out the hose, right out into the atmosphere. Most technicians wouldn't do such a thing, of course, but I think that's actually mistaken. I just want to point out that in the hose, right where my thumb is, there's a lock nut, and if you take that lock nut off and take this piece off here, there's a valve here. It's like a one-way valve, and it's for the airflow or gas flow into the line, not coming out of the line. So I believe that if you had no can here and connected it to a system, probably nothing would come out, because there is a push button in there going in. Now another thing is this shutoff valve. This is the pincher. When you close it all the way down, it punctures the can all the way in, and it also closes off the valve internal here, so it's not going to allow pressure come in either direction at that point. I want to point out, if there's any technicians that haven't used this out there, they warn you to make sure the pincher is all the way up before you screw the can on. I just want to say that you got to be careful, because even if it's up, it still has the potential to puncture that can when you're screwing it on. So you don't want to be standing like in your living room screwing the can on with the thing up, thinking, oh, it's just gonna, nothing's gonna come out. You gotta, don't assume that, because if it's not fully up, or maybe even if it is all the way out, it still can potentially puncture the can. Then you might panic and say, what do I do? Well, the best thing to do if that ever happened would be, I think, screw the can all the way in, and then screw this all the way in to fully puncture it, but at the same time that's going to close off the valve, so the whole thing, nothing should escape at that point. But I think the best way is to first put this on the system. After the system's pumped down, then put the can on, and then finish puncturing it, and then opening it up. So there's a few corrections. So the other thing I've seen in videos is they tend to say, oh, let's bleed the line by loosening the can a little bit. Well, I'm afraid that that's incorrect. If what I'm saying is correct, that there's a valve in here that's not letting the system refrigerant come out this direction, then loosening the can is not bleeding this hose. That's total waste of time. So I got a few corrections. I want to let everybody know there is a newer version where you're not using these cans. These cans, you can get into trouble if you screw it on too soon and that plunger does puncture the can. So that's the reason I wanted to make this video, just to share. So definitely you have to have a professional. It is to work on air conditioners. Keep that in mind. But keep an eye on your professional, whoever you hire. And for all the pros out there, you can always learn new things as well.